Ladies and gentlemen, Raw Ball Week 32. It has been an interesting week in both sports, wrestling, and in everything.
It's just been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week and a half.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. 2 times this time to find me. Something bare naked lady.
Captain singing the Canadian June.
It's
for the
definitely
Great
not
White
looking
North.
It's definitely not looking as bad as I was expecting it to by this point. But yeah, no. To anybody watching or anybody I've talked to, kebab skewers don't feel too good, but it looks cool.
I don't imagine your head felt too good.
Now the thing is where I did it, there weren't so many like nerve endings and shit, so I didn't feel it too much. It was really just the shock factor of feeling something pierce my forehead.
You can tell Captain's contemplating, thinking of doing this now. Got his head down in deep thought.
Yeah, I would definitely do the kebab skewers again, as possibly that is the least painful thing that I've done like that.
It would probably work better than the pizza cutter that we came up with. Yeah.
Wait, what did we do last? What did I miss on Sunday?
You missed the pizza cutter conversation?
I thought that was a bad dream.
Yes.
Did I say another stupid thing on air?
I believe I was the one who approached that particular topic.
Did I agree to it?
You didn't disagree to it.
Okay, so it's not set in stone. Let's go. I'm not an idiot.
If you'd like to use stones for something, I'm sure I can come up with some sort of spot for that.
I mean, I could just have Devin get a nice sharp pointy rock and see if that won't stick into my forehead.
We could do the Braveheart spot.
I don't know if YouTube will allow that one, Davey.
Mel Gibson's character, William Wallace, the redheaded guy, I forget his name, Yamish. He was throwing the big boulders.
Yeah,
and then Mel just reared back a little rock and nailed him in the forehead. So Devin could be like William Wallace.
And I'd be Yamish?
Yes, exactly.
Damn it.
Pizza cutter sound better?
Dev would definitely be Amish. Let's put it that way.
But yeah, week 32, NFL week 6 is in the books, and it was a very fucking weird week. Wouldn't you guys agree?
I will, but we also have some breaking news.
Is it bad breaking news or good breaking news?
It's interesting breaking news. I have
a banner for this specific situation. Send it to the group chat, and then I'll see if I can't throw it up. Oh, you got it. Oh, so the Eagles lose one game like they did last year, and immediately
the Eagles signed 7-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Julio Jones to a deal.
So
me and Julio down by the football yard.
So what I'm getting from this is
desperation.
Yeah, Eagles lose one game just like they did last year, and they choose to go, hey, we have this weakness. Fill it right fucking now.
Julio Jones.
I don't think that filled it.
Hey, dude, Julio is a very solid pair of hands.
Was
in a slot position. Julio Jones would do good for the Eagles, I think. He's not a 1 or a 2, but he's a very solid slot receiver still.
Wide receiver Julio Jones, a 7-time Pro Bowl selection, signed a 1-year contract with the Philadelphia Eagles on Tuesday. Jones, 34, will be reunited with former Tennessee Titans teammate A.J. Brown, who pushed for Tennessee to trade for him in 2021. The Eagles recently placed wide receiver Quez Watkins on injured reserve with a hamstring injury and worked out receivers Marquez Callaway and Desmond Patton on Monday. In the end, they turned to Jones, who will be on his fourth team in 4 years. Jones's 13,629 career receiving yards are the most of any active NFL player. Did the riots reach the GM's home when they lost on Sunday?
Again, this is a very big move when the Eagles already have a lot of very high volatility weapons.
I think it might be a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think it's going to really put a dent in anything they're doing.
No, this isn't anything that's like going to shift the scales. Like the Eagles aren't going to go undefeated for the rest of the year just because they got Julio Jones.
No. Not even.
The Eagles, from what I've seen of them, have more issues than what Julio Jones can fix.
It's how young they are, bro. They
The
are
Eagles'
an incredibly
issue is
young
this.
team. Oh, cat froze. right as he said, here's the thing, he froze.
Here's the thing.
But no, I think the main issue with the Eagles is they're way too inexperienced. Majority of their team came out of the last 2 or 3 years draft classes.
Here is the Eagles' issue.
Here
Sorry
he
for
is.
the internet malfunction. They are the Eagles, and let's look at who their two most recent head coaches were. Apart from Chip Kelly.
Doug Peterson.
Andy Reid and Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, who is a literal clone of Andy Reid.
Yeah, but it's seeming to work down in Jacksonville.
This team is still in this mindset of ignore everything. We don't need a defense. We don't need a run game. We just need receivers. Boop, 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 boop. I think the Eagles are, what was that line from the White Album? Dave can back me up on this. Mother Superior jumped the gun. Mother Superior jumped the gun.
I do not know that one.
This is the Eagles jumping the gun because they lost to a team that had a half-ass decent team with a good defense. So now all of a sudden, oh my God, we might not go undefeated. Holy shit.
I mean, I will say they lost to the fucking Jets, but so did
The
we.
Jets have a good defense. Their offense.
Oh, I know. I know the Jets have a good defense.
Davey has pretty much nailed the Jets' offense. Keep the ball out of Zach Wilson's hands, and they have a chance.
Y'all have three running backs, right? Just keep running.
Well,
just keep running.
Well, they got to put it in Wilson's hands some. They can't run the ball all the time. Just keep it simple with them. Like, none of these long passes, just 7-8 yards and run. So if they do that, this team has a chance. Because their differential, they're only -6. Like, they're right there in every game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's a testament to their defense.
Yeah.
Like
If
their
you look at the
offense isn't scoring that much to keep that differential that close.
No, like they got 113 points for, 119 against. If you look in that division, the Dolphins got 156 points against.
I don't want to hear about how many points the Dolphins have put up. Continue.
No, that's points against. Points that they've allowed. So there's issues there. It's a lot of points. Right?
Apparently,
119, like that's upper half in the league. Easy upper half. Probably top 10.
Apparently, Christian McCaffrey has avoided serious injury and could possibly play on Monday Night Football against the Vikings.
Oh, he's gonna fucking make the Vikings his bitch, isn't he?
If he's healthy.
Dude, at this point, Christian McCaffrey is only hurt whenever he's out for games. He tends to be very solid.
Well, we seen Sunday what happens when he's not in the game. That was a very different San Francisco offense.
I still can't believe. We'll get into all of the games individually here in a minute, but
I think Cleveland upsetting them is a bigger upset than the Jets upsetting the Eagles.
Oh, without a doubt, that's with PJ fucking Walker, XFL standout. Yeah, no.
McCaffrey avoided a long-term injury and has a chance to play Monday night against the Vikings. McCaffrey suffered an oblique rib injury. So left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Deebo Samuel's shoulder ought to have a chance to play in Monday's game. They've got a week to recover. We all know C-Mac. If he is capable of going, he's going to go because he's just psychotic like that.
Dude, he is one of those.
And you gotta give the fucker credit for it. He is a gamer.
Dude, he is one of those anomalies, like without a doubt. The 49ers team just has a bunch of anomaly players. It's insane.
Oh, we have some good news for Davey.
Did they get rid of Mac Jones?
Trevor Lawrence says knee has progressed, quote, very well and has a chance to play on Thursday Night Football.
I don't believe Mr. Lawrence, for as handsome as he is, and with his long flowing golden locks, will make it into my lineup this Thursday. So
you don't think so, Davey?
Who is your backup QB now that you're on, what, a 3-game losing streak?
I am on a 3-game losing streak.
Who handed you your most recent
That would be
loss?
You, Captain. Excellent job. Kudos to the captain.
Yes.
I'm not the worst team in the league. I beat the West Fork Virgins, so
Geno
they're 1-5.
I know.
Geno
I was
Smith
2-3.
They're playing the Arizonas.
I think I have Baker Mayfield, Davey. If you want to trade me someone,
No, I'm good on that.
Well, as Davey likes to call him, Barker Mayfield. I have to ask Davey. I've been meaning to for about 7 NFL weeks now. Why do you call him Barker Mayfield? I have to ask.
It depends on the nickname I give you as to my affection for you. Barker's not a complimentary nickname.
He doesn't strike me as a barker, though. Are you speaking of like a barker at a carnival that's like, hey, come see the bearded lady. Hey, come see the 2-foot man.
If he starts to play better, I'll start pronouncing his name correctly.
I mean, I live in the city that he was arrested in, where he tried to evade the police. And I've showed Maddie the exact concrete spot where he got his head smacked into.
So if that's the case, what does Cody Rhodes have to do to get his name back for you, Davey?
Stop sounding like he's behind a pulpit.
Stop talking like you're a fucking Southern preacher, and I'll give you your name back.
Exactly. If we could somehow manage
I would say I would replace Pastor Cody with Reverend Rhodes if I was just going for
Pastor Corey.
Pastor
Corey is a call out to Danhausen because Danhausen used to call him Corey.
I must have missed that. I do love me some Danhausen. There's pretty much nothing that
love
guy
that
can do that
Danhausen.
would upset me.
And I only
Love
give
that
Cody
Joker.
I only give Cody this amount of shit because I've seen Cody like as a heel. Wow. Holy shit.
Cody as a heel is actually pretty and fucking good.
Grabs
The thing is, well, we're going to speak about this eventually. If I were booking things, I would have had him go over at WrestleMania, and then about 6-9 months later, I would have had him turn full-fledged heel with Brandy at his side because she is the most hateable human being on planet Earth.
If you want to garner a loud reaction that's not pre-produced, having Brandy by your side, that will do it. Most definitely.
We have a suspension in the NFL.
Is it over fucking gambling again?
No, it's PEDs.
Oh,
Colts nose tackle Grover Stewart suspended 6 games for PEDs.
Oh, so he must have actually been like shooting up something, because no, they gave DeAndre Hopkins the 6 weeks for the shit that was found in his like protein shakes. So I guess this could be literally anything, because at this point, you know, there's so much, you know, supplements on the market for bodybuilding and shit like that, or body recovery. And they don't necessarily need labels if they're not FDA regulated. At least that's how here in the States. That's how DeAndre Hopkins got hit with his shit, apparently.
I mean, the Colts are a mess. We know Anthony Richardson is
considering
pretty much done for the year.
Considering season-ending injuries or season-ending surgery.
The glue factory still reigns.
I was about to say, the fact that, dude, I even thought this was the end of the carousel for the Colts. I thought this was the end of the carousel for the Colts. But this has proven one thing. It doesn't matter what type of horse you are. It does not matter. It does not matter what type of horse you are in the NFL. The ride never ends.
no.
Well, we'll get into the ride that never ends eventually. I do have one more story to put up, just because it's the name. Well, it coincides with the name of Maddie's fantasy team. Aaron Rodgers ahead of schedule. Hurdles remain according to the brand.
Bro, you and Devin were talking about this on Sunday. No, there's no way.
From what I've read, we're looking medically, realistically, to a decent medical degree of certainty week 15.
No.
Which is 15, 16, 17, which leaves 4 weeks of the regular season, which is what is at most practical, according to physician statements. Not that listening to the sounds of dolphins fucking and rubbing crystals over your Achilles tendon. I've always been a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but whatever he's doing, I don't know. It's just one of those things that.
Hey man, if
you come back, you come back.
If whatever he's doing is getting his Achilles back in shape. Hey, Raj, I could use some of that shit for my back. Like, there's no way he's going to be back in the NFL this season. Even if the Jets make it to the playoffs, I don't see them trying to trot Rodgers out there.
Oh, it seems as if a certain Jimmy Bay has just shared our present tweet to all of his followers. Excuse me. I will have words to say to Jimmy Bay later in the show. That will be us in finality. But before then, we actually still have work to go. Davey, I wanted to go ahead.
Got a very favorable last 3 games too.
Yes, the Jets schedule. Honestly, let me pull up the Jets. Davey, you're not wrong. Let's break this down here. Let's look at the Jets schedule here, because they got sort of the early roughness out, and they're 3-3. So let's take a look at the Jets schedule here. So we're coming into week 7. They're on a bye, so they get to rest up, heal up, get their accoutrement.
Mm-hmm.
Week 8 at the Giants. exceptionally winnable game.
Yeah.
Week 9, they host the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Whatever. That one's a coin flip.
They can win the last 3 games, 500.
Well, let's kind of so they're 3-3 at this point. Let's just we pretty much they're going to beat the Giants. Is that more or less agreed from the panel as presently constituted? They beat the Giants.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 4-3. Then they host the Chargers. I would lean Chargers, but after what we saw on Monday night, who the fuck knows? But I would tend to give them the loss there. So let's just say 4-4. All right. Week 10 at the vicious Vegas Raiders. We know they're winning that one.
Do we, though? Or will Jimmy Garoppolo
I know they're winning that one. Trust me. My team can't win fucking shit unless we're playing dog shit. So that's 5-4. Week 11 at Buffalo. That's a loss. So that's 5-5. Then they host Miami. That's a loss. That's 5-6. Then they host Atlanta. Dome team traveling north in the winter. I'm going to give that one to the Jets. So let's say 6-6. All right, just for shits and giggles here. Then they host Houston. Again, Southern Dome team traveling north. 7-6. Week 15, when Rodgers is supposed to be back, they go to Miami. So let's just say for shits, they're 7-6 when Rodgers comes back. So they are at Miami. Then they host the Commies at Cleveland, at New England. So of those 4 games, if they have Rodgers, I think they take 3 of those 4, and that puts them at 10 wins. If they have Rodgers.
I don't even know. With Rodgers coming back that soon, I don't.
What Rodgers are you getting?
He's not got it. He cannot be 100%.
No.
Okay, so let's say we split the difference. Say they go 2-2, so that's 9-8. That's still a winning record that potentially gets them in, depending on how the rest of the AFC shakes out. Let's just say I look at that with Rodgers. They could go 3-4. Let's downgrade that and say 2-2. So let's say they end 9-8. That's a winning record. That that Miami game is kind of gonna be the hitcher-a-do. Maybe Cleveland as well. Miami and Cleveland. And they are on the road. PJ Walker is the
quarterback. The Browns are winning that game.
I'm just saying, and I wish Dev was here to back me up. And it's rare that I agree with Dev on far-fetched things because Dev, everybody's little brother, has some far-fetched ideas, as do I occasionally.
I don't know a single person that doesn't have far-fetched ideas.
Yeah, but I tend to find myself agreeing with Dev somewhat more on far-fetched ideas. I don't know. I just love the kid. So let's just say the Jets finish 9-8 or finish with a winning record. Are they with 9-8? With that as the record, do the Jets get into the wild card, to the AFC playoffs with a healthy Aaron Rodgers? If they do, what do you guys think? That's what I'm throwing out there. The schedule is able to get them to that point if all the cosmic tumblers, the dark side of the moon, everything else. If they finish 9-8 and get into the playoffs as a wild card team with a healthy Rodgers, what do you two guys see? And I'll give you the floor.
I might need to take more kebab skewers to the forehead if we get Aaron Rodgers going any further than the wild card round.
Yeah, like 9-8 in that conference. Like if you look at it,
I don't.
Miami and
Yeah,
Buffalo are in.
I was about to say Miami will probably get more than that, and Buffalo is the one I'm worried about if they don't get the wild card, because if they don't get the wild card,
Well,
the Jets might.
Well, they're 4-2 right now. I think Buffalo will be fine. They got too stacked of a roster.
Yeah, but Madden curse.
Who else we got in the North? There's likely 2 teams coming out of that: Baltimore and Cincy. There's 4 teams in. South, you're probably only getting the division winner.
You're only getting Jacksonville, I
So
think.
there's 5. So that's 3 spots left. Kansas City's getting in.
6.
Most likely, the Chargers sneak in. So there's 7. So you got 1 team.
I can see the Chargers slipping in.
Yeah, Chargers are always right there.
Dude, the Colts would be the only one that would have a potential, and that would be
without a quarterback
off of Gardner Minshew's mustache alone.
So that leaves 1 spot.
Matthew,
So
upper facial hair don't mean shit.
So
one spot left. So how many teams are vying for that 1 spot? Likely the Jets if they got that 9-8 record.
Jets, Browns could be vying for that spot if Deshaun gets
Browns
back.
will be there. Pittsburgh won't be there. Houston.
Yeah.
The way they've been
Houston.
playing, I think Houston is going to be in that mix.
Okay. I could see Houston in there, possibly.
There's 2 teams. Right? If you want to throw Cleveland in there, there's 3, but I think Cleveland.
No, so we got Jets, Cleveland, Houston.
I think there'd be a 3-team race for that last spot.
So like one of those comes down to week 18, winning you're in, losing you're.
Yeah, it'll be, if Jets get in, it'll be that close.
Well, did you mention the Bengals?
Bengals I already had in. I think they'll.
Yeah,
be.
he said that them or Baltimore are going to get in from the north.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be.
I could see that. I'm trying to.
I still don't even think Baltimore. If in order for Baltimore to even get close to a wild card spot, they need to learn how to catch the fucking ball.
I'm trying to think in terms of totality, as Ernest Hemingway would put it. In terms of totality, given everything that we know, NFL, ref ball, shit and chicanery and shenanigans. Shit, chicanery, and shenanigans. That could be a Carlin line. Shit, chicanery, and shenanigans going on to possibly just squeeze Aaron Rodgers through that anal orifice of the playoffs simply for the fact that it's Aaron Rodgers. The slate does not align improperly for that to happen is the case I'm presenting.
Okay, so
just a tip.
The only way that I could see this happening, and it would have to be 1,000% like an NFL script writer's moment. The only reason
we love you, Tommy.
the only reason that could happen is so we get Mahomes versus Rodgers.
Oh, and I actually have some issues with something that Mr. James said about my first attempted judge. So we'll get into that. Anywho, I have issues. I have issues, and I've got a whole box of tissues that I'm going to address later on. Anywho, go ahead, Jill.
The other thing with the Jets is if Wilson gets them there, Wilson gets them to that 9-8 record.
You think Zach Wilson gets them to 9-8?
Breece Hall,
if he gets them to the okay, guys, we're either in a playoff spot right now, and Aaron is ready. How much credibility has Zach built up between what he's done now up to that point? As far as
Zach gets them to the point, Zach gets them to the point to where if they have a healthy Rodgers, they can get to the playoffs. But Zach Wilson. And let's just say Rodgers is not medically cleared to play the rest of the year. Zach Wilson is not getting that team to the goddamn playoffs. Davey, I know you called Arizona, and I was about 50-50 here. I'm about 10, 15% on
But
this one, Hondo.
what they're doing from the games I'm watching is working.
But can it work to that level?
With the schedule they got, especially those last 3 games, they could very easily get in those playoffs. Especially considering who else is in that conference.
I still just don't see Rodgers coming back this season.
Davey, normally I'm not a gambler. Matthew is our resident gambler. But at some point in this schedule, I might be willing to place a bet with you as far as the Jets' playoff hopes, because I think the scenario I spoke of is quite possible. The scenario you speak of, I don't see happening. But depending on where we are, where things shake out in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I might be willing to bet a plate of poutine on it with you. The price of a plate of poutine.
Who's making it?
I don't know how much a plate of poutine costs up in
it's not that expensive.
I would hope it's not that expensive.
A friendly wager.
I would hope poutine wasn't that expensive up there, seeing as it's like one of y'all's staple dishes. That'd be like a burrito going for like $20 in Mexico. Like
actually, I kind of thought poutine was like a Wisconsin thing, because Wisconsin is known for
cheese curds, butter,
Solly's Grill. You know,
well, they probably have it there. It's a border state.
Matt, you ever heard of the butter burger at Solly's Grill?
I've heard of it, and I've had several versions of a butter burger. I fucking love them.
Shit,
but I'm also
that's way too much cholesterol. I can't just. Well, the way Solly's does it, they put a dab of butter about the size of this Kleenex.
Bro, I'm looking forward to clogging my arteries before I'm 40.
Well, I'm almost 37, and I've clogged them enough, apparently. So I'm trying to unclog, which is why I'm eating sprouted grain bread and oatmeal and turkey sausage. And God, my diet these days.
I've got one life. I'm going to enjoy it.
Between my partner and my doctor, my diet these days has essentially crumbled down to me being able to cook 1 day a week, actual food. Anywho.
Oh, son of a bitch.
That's the Jets. Let's take a look at the MLB playoffs. Davey, the Rangers, you may not be wrong. They're up 2-0. And the Philadelphias are looking pretty good. This could be a Philadelphia-Texas World Series.
Well, this would finally be the one for the Phillies, right?
No, the Phillies have one.
I know, but it feels like they've been waiting for a while.
No, they won one back in like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there.
That's about 10 years ago.
In baseball terms, that's not very long.
Yeah, but you know how rabid fan bases are, especially Phillies fans.
Yeah,
watch, dude. These Eagles fans are going to be spitting bullets until they get their next Super Bowl, especially since they've been to 2 in the last 6 years.
Well, we do have game 2 tonight. Phillies host the Diamondbacks in game 2. The Rangers are up 2-0 on the Stros, if I understand things correctly. So looks like Wheeler's going to be going for the Phillies. Wait, Lord. 17th. Where am I? Let me pull my calendar up here. So Nola's going tonight for the Phillies. They have Kelly going. I would like Nola in that one for Philly to go up 2-0. Philly and Rangers World Series would be pretty interesting, honestly, because I think the Phillies have some pretty good pitching. The Rangers, we know their bats are just electrifying.
The Rangers had the most all-stars in the game, like the entire weekend this year. Like the Rangers have been doing that good that almost every member of their infield and a few of their outfield were all stars this year. That's insane.
That is very true.
Like, this is the most all-around team I've seen in years.
But they don't have the pitching. That's what worries me. Is
The pitching is very.
Let's just say that the Rangers
injury-prone.
get through this Houston series. I still do not trust the pitching staff.
Well, they got
I
Scherzer
just-
going in Game 3.
Well, we all know how Cap
Well,
feels
I thought
about
Scherzer was
Scherzer.
deactivated for the playoffs. He's
No.
going.
No, he was deactivated for a series.
Oh, so he's going in game. Oh, okay.
Right.
So
So
that could. All
so
right,
they got a
that could
big-
very well change
Big
things.
gun going in a
And
very
we're in a
pivotal
best
game.
of 7 at this point. We're not best of 5. We're in
Best of 7, yeah.
Okay.
3-0 is basically the death knoll is playing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You don't
So
come back from it.
Scherzer-
Very rarely does the team come back.
Oh, I mean, it's the same thing with, like, the NBA. There's only been, I believe, 2 teams to ever come back from a 3-1 deficit.
Well, let's not forget the 3-0 deficit faced by your collective Red Sox.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
2004.
only. That's one of the.
I
only
still
times
have I have autographed Pedro and Schilling jerseys on my wall.
That's one of the only times in
God
MLB.
damn it! How the fuck is this? I'm a White Sox fan. I've got one goddamn signed jersey in my office, yet I've got Schilling and Pedro signed jerseys. I've got.
To be fair, it is the big hurt.
I've got Bill Lee autographed baseball. How the I hate the goddamn Red Sox, yet I still have more memorabilia of them than I do of my own team.
Maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, Cap. Maybe the Red Sox are just better team.
You do have more World Series. We only have 3.
Good point. I will be right back.
All right, so Davey and I will take this. I was actually about to turn it over to Davey here because Davey follows the hockeys. I've got the NHL pulled up on ESPN. We're a week into the NHL season?
We are.
So give us the lowdown on the hockeys because I don't follow it. I wish I did, but what's going on in the hockeys? We're 1 week in. Give us the lowdown.
Who's winning Lordo this year?
Oh,
And why is it the Avalanche?
Avalanche are always a team in that mix, and they will be this year.
It hadn't been that way for a long time, so I'm very happy that you say that.
Not
now.
the John Tenta Avalanche, the actual Colorado Avalanche.
Up here in the Great White North, the bandwagon of Toronto's has already
The bandwagon of Toronto.
Every year is the same thing. Every year. The most delusional fan base of that league belongs to that team.
Even over the Habs?
Yeah, even over the Habs. The Habs
what
fan
are the big teams? You got Calgary, you got
realization.
Edmonton, you got Toronto. Who are the other? I know those are the big 3.
Yeah, Montreal, Toronto.
Montreal,
Ottawa, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver.
Okay, so
I forgot about
there was 2. Yeah, Vancouver and Ottawa were the 2 that I were leaving out. Anyway, continue, Davey.
Now Austin Matthews, 6 goals in the first 2 games, so he's tearing it up. But
Impressive.
But it's the same issue with them every year. Top end, high end offense, score like a motherfucker, right? They got 14 goals in 3 games. They've also let in 13. That's not good.
I notice how hockey, and this is one thing that does attract me to hockey, is I love soccer, especially Premier League European. I've always said hockey is essentially soccer on ice. So that is another thing that kind of makes me want to follow hockey.
A lot of European hockey players, they've played soccer to some extent due to the footwork. Because you need footwork in hockey to control the puck, right?
Yes, you do.
So they incorporate each other quite
Well,
well.
I also
So that's a
feel
nice
like
parallel between the 2.
I also feel like the rules are very similar between hockey and soccer. Like when it comes to pushing it up ice or up field and soccer.
Yeah,
you got the offsides penalties. You got similar icing penalties, or you can't launch something up too far by. It's weird. They've got a lot of weird rules, but they're very similar.
There are a lot of similarities between the 2 of them. Hockey is just much faster.
Oh yeah,
as you would expect, because they are in fact on skates.
And much smaller range of field.
Yeah, and they're much bigger men too. You get a 225-pound man hitting you at 40 miles an hour. It's probably going to hurt.
That's a lot of man.
That's a lot of man moving quite fast. Yeah. Really early in the season, like some team got 2 games played, 4 games played. Chicago is a team to watch. I think we mentioned that last week with
I'm wanting to try and get into hockey. If I did, it would probably be the Blackhawks, just because I'm such a Chicago guy.
Apparently, this might be the season to do that, Cap, because I've heard nothing but good things.
Well,
about
2
this
seasons from now
team.
is what Davey said. 2 seasons from now, the Blackhawks could have just a shit record.
Yeah, like for them to say, okay, we're off and running, right?
Yeah.
Like Bedard, this is his first year. He's a rookie. He's 18 years old. So they're going to get him in there. He'll get his feet
18 years old, and already he's up to because I know that there's a minor league system in hockey similar to baseball. Well, 18 years old, he's already in.
The American Hockey League is what they call it.
Didn't Sidney Crosby make the league in like 17 though?
No, you have to be 18 to.
Oh, okay. I thought Sidney Crosby was like one of the youngest players to ever make it.
But players like Crosby and McDavid and Ovechkin and Bedard here,
the rare breeds.
You'll get drafted, and you are 99% chance you're in an NHL lineup come October. Right?
Okay.
But that's a very, very small group of all the players that get drafted. The majority of them, they either go back to junior, which would be like up here, it's called the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So you can still play there for a little bit. You go to the AHL, right? That's the American Hockey League. So that would be AAA of baseball.
Okay.
Right, as a comparison. You might need to work on parts of your game. That's where you do it at. So the parallel there, that's AAA American Hockey League.
I know diddle squat about hockey minor league. The last time I really followed hockey, I was in junior high.
That was a while ago.
It was a long time. That was like 2000. No, actually, that was 1998 to 2000. The last time I really followed hockey. So we're looking at a quarter of a century since I've paid much attention to it.
And the game is a little different since you last watched it too. Back then, it was a lot.
Yes.
Back then it was a more congested game.
It was a more physical game. Now it's more speed. Predicated on speed and
the changes they've made, similar to baseball, was to speed the game up and try to create more scoring. Right? Which they did. Like scoring is not up like it was in the 80s. That's impossible. Just due to the gear of the goalies, where there's just you don't see enough net to get the puck past them. But it's a more enjoyable game now as far as fast paced. So
since Maddie's out, before I go to covering the NFL scores of the week, to someone like myself who is more or less a novice, who doesn't know jack squat when it comes to modern day hockey, but is interested in getting into it, what would you say are the 1 or 2 things that someone like myself should? Okay, why should you be watching hockey? What is going on? Why should you be paying attention to it? Because I know hockey is growing. It's especially down here in the States. Like it's slowly becoming a thing, but I've been seeing over the last 10 years to where there's becoming a lot of hockey fans here in the States. What are the 1 or 2 things that a novice like myself should watch it for? Like, the Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift effect,
If you like fast-paced action, hockey is your sport, right? It's go, 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 go. It can make it a little bit hard to follow at first because it is so fast.
All right.
So when you first get into it, like in any sport, the fundamentals. Just learn the fundamentals first. Don't worry about, why was that offside? Why this? Why that? You will pick those little things up as you go, right?
Okay.
But just watch the back and forth, and you will pick those things up as you go. It's an international sport too.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you've
this
got
is-
two. You've got. I mean,
Yeah, it's all
you
over.
got the
Like,
U.S. and Canada. I'm not sure. I know Russia is very into hockey. Obviously, I mean,
yeah, like there'll be tournaments like that. You'll see, and you see players from all over the world,
okay.
all over the place, right? If you like highlight reel stuff, you're going to see tons of it in hockey. Highlight goals, highlight hits, highlight saves, like just all over the place. It's a
Okay.
very enjoyable sport to watch. It is.
All right.
As far as playoffs go, it's 82 game season, 16 teams make it. There's 32 teams in the league, so 50%.
Sort of like the RAWBall Fantasy League. 14 teams, 8 teams make the playoffs. Well, now that we have Maddie back,
Similar setup to that, yeah. So
yeah.
whatever team you're rooting for, chances are you're going to be able to root for them pretty much right to the end of the season, unless you pick.
Well, before we get into the NFL happenings of the week, I have to do my weekly expression of love for Matthew Laws, because we love him so much. But this week,
Yep.
Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Oh. Deep dark depression, excessive misery. Oh. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Oh. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Oh. Deep dark depression, excessive misery. Oh. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Oh. Gloom, despair, and agony on me.
well, our first game up in the recapping of the NFLs, as Dave would call them, Broncos drop another to the Chiefs, 19-8. The Broncos have not defeated the Chiefs now in 8 years. I will let the man with the marks on his forehead have the floor here, because my friend Maddie, my brother from another mother, what the fuck is it? Is Are we at fire sale point? Are they? I mean,
Oh no! Apparently,
they got rid of
no.
Gregory. They got rid of.
Yeah,
Okay, floor is yours. Floor is yours.
They are definitely at fire sale mode right now. Randy Gregory, Frank Clark, yeah, they're already gone. But Justin Simmons, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, all three of those gentlemen are on the trade block. All three of them. I want to jump out of a 12th story window, because those are the only good pieces we have to this team, meaning that we trade them. Let me break down, as a Broncos fan, what more than likely we're going to get. For Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver that is very talented, but his mouth goes a little faster than his talent goes. And, he'll go for maybe a second-round pick. Cortland Sutton is the only one that I see potentially getting a first-round pick. And guess what? That won't be a first-round pick for like another 2-3 seasons, because there's nobody in the NFL that's giving up a first-round pick in this upcoming draft for Cortland Sutton. And Justin Simmons, he's going to go for a package. Like, he has to go for a package, because the amount of talent he has, if we give him up for like a second or third-round pick, I'm going to go to Denver corporate myself and probably get my ass thrown out of the building. But
Perna this week said, and I'll let you, as a Broncos fan, throw this out. He said essentially everyone except Patrick Surtain should be on the trade block.
I wholeheartedly agree, because if we're going to, air quotes, focus on younger talent, We need to hit these drafts really fucking hard. Like, we have to go into these with the mentality of this is full rebuild. That we're not contending.
The
with
draft coming
anybody
up is the most quarterback-rich draft we've seen in the last handful of years.
We're not getting Caleb. I know that for a flying fucking fact. But
Well, no, you're not, because you don't have a first round pick.
we don't have a first or a second round pick in this draft.
Like that's
So-
what you should be trying to get.
That's what I'm
lacking.
thinking. Was we're Justin Simmons. I can totally see him go for a first round pick because he is so talented that I can see him going for that.
Yeah.
The only downside is, well, as Cap says, these players have tread. Justin Simmons is already a fucking 8-year veteran in the league. So the experience is something that we're going to miss incredibly, but he's got the talent that he can go for a first round pick. Definitely.
How many more years until Denver has a first round pick? How many more years?
Next season.
Well,
So
if they do this.
So
if they do this
2025.
trade right or trade deadline right, they could have.
They could garner a first round pick, but I don't think it'll be a high enough pick to get.
But no, I genuinely don't think we're going to get a first round pick until next season. Meaning that if we do these trades properly, we might be going into the 2025 draft with at least 2 or 3 first round picks.
Well, going into the draft next year, if things continue at present pace, the Bears would have both the number 1 overall and number 2 overall picks, which I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the NFL draft, which would be kind of an interesting scenario.
Well, wait, what did you say? That going into the draft, having the 1 and 2?
If we were to look at everything as presently constituted, obviously there's still 3/4 of the season to go. The Chicago Bears would at present have the number 1 and number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, going into the draft.
Yeah, going into it.
I was about to say,
With
'cause
the
the
hand
Texans-
injury to Fields, that may not be such a far-fetched idea.
No, and that they killed Justin Fields. The Bears single-handedly killed Justin Fields. But yeah, no, Broncos Chiefs game absolutely sucked. But I can say one thing: we made them look bad. Like, they did not look good the entire game.
I mean, it wasn't, how do I say this appropriately, statistically, factually, and kindly? Broncos never should have been in this game. The
No.
Chiefs are still off. Like,
Dude,
they
without a doubt, the Chiefs, with how bad we have played, the Chiefs should have ran us up by like 40 fucking points.
God, imagine 40 skewers.
It just, regardless, dude, like, the Chiefs should have scored so much more on us.
What is the problem? Is it the coach? Is it the quarterback? Is it the religion, the nation, or the species?
I don't want to say it's Russ, but my coworker called him jokingly the most efficient quarterback in the NFL to get, double-digit fucking yardage in a game. He's hitting his targets. We just can't move the ball forward once those people have the ball in their hands.
Yeah, there's no mobility after the catch.
Yeah, I was about to say,
It's catch and stop.
Yeah,
I
catch and
sincerely
done.
do not think this is Russ's fault.
No, it's not.
This is not his fault.
I tend to not think it is either.
So
and it could be because I'm a Russell Wilson homer. I do love Russell Wilson. I think he's a good quarterback. As much as I love to shit on the Broncos and Matty for the sake of shitting on them, I don't
I'm
think
looking
this
at-
is Russ's fault. He cannot have been so damn good in Seattle with the limited talent he had there. Go to Denver with more offensive talent, arguably, and be this bad. There is something off here.
Dude. So
It's like Robert
I'm not-
Stack.
I'm not even
Perhaps tonight,
upset.
you could help solve a mystery.
I'm not even upset with, them putting Judy and Sutton on the trade block, because Sutton, he's had a good career here in Denver. I want to see him do better. I want to see him with a team that'll just send him on deep passes, because that dude is tall. He is able to catch those passes. Jerry Judy, he would be a very viable slot receiver damn near anywhere else in the league.
Julio Jones has already been signed.
It's just we can't seem to, once Russ gets people the ball, move it forward.
Let's just say Judy gets traded. Where do you think would be the ideal landing spot for Jerry Judy?
Jerry Judy.
What team would he absolutely just be like, fuck you, Denver. What the fuck were you thinking trading me?
Should they not have Matt Canada as offensive coordinator? Pittsburgh.
I still think Kenny Pickens is.
Yeah, but Cap, think about this.
No.
Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Jerry Judy. That's your 1, 2, and 3.
At some point, I stop blaming the coordinator and I start blaming the quarterback. A game 2, maybe 3. It's the coordinator's fault. We've seen Kenny Pickett. He has not evolved in many ways. He has possibly regressed. That offense.
He did make a game.
The Steelers have far more problems than they care to acknowledge.
Yeah, like Pittsburgh is 3-2.
And it's an ugly 3-2.
Yeah, like that's a very deceiving 3-2.
Sorry, Greg,
they got a point differential of -31.
Yeah.
Like there's no way Judy is not going to fix what's wrong there. So if Judy gets traded, I could see, depending on what draft picks Houston has, I could see him going there. Because Houston is going to be in the mix for that playoff spot. And a guy like Judy could put them over that hump. So that'll be a possibility. Okay. I'm going to throw one way out of left field here, too, involving Russell Wilson. If Richardson is in fact out for the year,
no,
you flip Wilson to Indy. You grab as many draft picks out of there as you can. Because they got all of a sudden a two-headed monster now at running back. Taylor's back. Moss is still moving
and
the ball
Zach
really
Moss
well.
is doing.
And the defense has not looked too poorly.
And that, if you get Wilson under center, who's a veteran, who knows how, and like you said, he's very accurate with the ball. He doesn't have to throw the ball 20 yards.
And he can still hit you with the fucking moonshot as well.
If he has to, but he doesn't have to on that type of team. That is a winnable division.
It is.
If that happens. I don't think it's winnable for them with Minshew. No knock on Mustache Man. But I don't think they get there with him. They could have got there with Richardson, from what I've seen of him. But
he looks pretty good up
Wilson
until
under center there, and that Indianapolis Colts team take on a whole new meaning.
Well, let's move on. We spent enough time on this one. Raiders defeat the Patriots 21-17
on the same day that Cap beats Davey in fantasy. Like, how weird is
that? I wasn't gonna grind salt into those wounds. I was just going to say the Raiders having more wins at this point in the year than I thought they would have all year has me mind blown, but not as mind blown as the Patriots situation. Davey, you're our resident Patriots fan.
Not blowing my mind.
What the hell? What does New England do at this point? I mean, I listened to a few podcasts and things today. This Patriots team is dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say
Worse than us, which I didn't even think it was possible.
like I'd say blow it up, but what exactly are you blowing?
There's
Who's
nothing to
going to take
blow.
Mac Jones on? Like, who looks at their team and says, if we could get Mac Jones, this could put us over the hump? Any general manager that thinks that in the NFL should be fired immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Well, we've lost Garoppolo now for God knows how long, so I think this 3
And-
wins. I could still be right. We could still only win 3 games.
Did you see?
You look at our wide receivers, Kendrick Bourne. He's a great third guy on a contending team, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Not
the
much
thing
else
is
there.
the star receiver for the New England Patriots would be a great third slot guy on most any contending team.
Yeah. The only thing you're going to move
Their second
running
best
back
receiver is a fucking tight end.
is Stevenson, and he hasn't done anything to raise his stock this year.
Hence why he got traded by.
Yeah. So, like, this organization, right where it sits right now, in my eyes anyway, needs a complete and utter reboot, top to bottom, which includes people that are not in uniform.
So Belichick.
Yes.
How much are you saying? Like he gives up GM duties or gives up GM and coaching duties?
Both. It's time.
Damn.
Oh,
It's time, right?
I think he can still make good GM decisions. I don't think he's a good
no.
coach.
He's not. He's never been a good head coach, but GM, fuck all. Look at how they have blown how many drafts.
Oh, you got a good point.
Picture Bill sitting down for 2 hours in the GM negotiations over a trade. How well do you envision that talk going?
So
Not at all.
So
Right.
Bill, what I've got a trade package here for you. I'll go with the 7th round draft pick, Jerry Jeudy, and we're just looking for Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry. What do you think about that?
I don't really
Yeah,
understand
like,
why.
So, Bill, I'm gonna need you to speak up just a little bit. I can't hear you.
no
I
matter
really
what,
don't know why you would even.
no matter what type of question you would ask Bill, open-ended or closed-ended,
At the
you
end
would
of
get a
the day,
closed-ended answer.
We're on to Cincinnati, and one of those guys are Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Bill is not sitting down, in GM talks trying to do those.
You guys have a
Dev's
very
not
valid
here.
point.
The Ravens beat the Titans 24-16. Should have been about 42-16.
Did we expect anything less? Tennessee's offensive line is absolute fucking dog shit.
Yeah, but the Ravens should have beaten them by more.
They should have beaten them by
this
more.
loss was more telling by the Ravens that they didn't beat them by more. That was what I have gathered from looking at everything. The Ravens should have won this far more convincingly because the Titans are that bad. Titans are 2-4, and that's a generous 2-4.
Oh yeah.
Commies beat the Falcons 24-16. Yet the Falcons, coming into this coming week, still have the 4th best defensive front in the NFL. I'm clueless as to how. I cannot figure out either one of these teams. Nothing makes sense anymore. Please, somebody tell me.
This NFL season has been absolute chaos. Just absolute and utter chaos.
Well, yeah, chaos, but usually it's chaos we can figure out. These two fucking squads, the Commies and the Falcons, it's like a big prick waving dick fight. It's just slapping, German helmets together.
We still don't know who Desmond Ridder is.
No, we don't.
Quarterback.
No, we don't.
So we have no idea really who Sam Howell is, other than the fact that kid can run really fucking fast for no reason. And he'll run through you because he's a big motherfucker.
And I mean, they did defeat Denver, so he has that on his resume. The Vikings and the Bears. This game befuddled me because
this is
the
another
Vikings.
game.
This was classic Vikings, and I think Dave may back me up on this. The Vikings dominated that first half of that game. But in classic Viking fashion, they still allowed this to be a 19-13 game at the end.
They became the purple passion eaters because they broke the fucking Vikings fan spirits.
Yeah. Like there's no way this should have been a 6-point game.
No.
They had the Bears had their top running back out. They lost their starting quarterback. Fields only threw the ball 10 times. Right? They had a quarterback in. I didn't even know who he was. I had to look him up mid-game.
Oh yeah,
Plantagenet or something like that.
I think all of us went. I think all of us went. Wait, Fields isn't out there.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that?
Fuck is this
Well,
guy?
apparently the injury is a dislocated thumb, which has him listed at this point as doubtful for this coming.
It's on his throwing hand as well.
Yeah, it's a dislocated thumb on his throwing hand.
Justin Fields is not playing this week.
No.
I would.
The only way he plays this week is if they run. If the only way he plays, remember the Patriots game on that Monday night where they threw the ball 3 times. That's the only way he plays.
I remember that
is their
windy
entire
game.
Plan is to run the ball. Period.
And
they
Bengals beat the
really
Seahawks 17-13. This is another match between two teams. I still don't. The Bengals seem to be becoming more Bengal-y, more oozy.
Yeah, whatever was going on with Burrow, he unburrowed it, right? Like he seems to be back, right? And him and Chase have just been hooking up.
Jesus Christ,
they are a deadly, deadly duo the last 2 games.
And he still has, once he gets healthy, Higgins is 2 weeks removed from a broken rib. I'm thinking, 4 to 6 weeks. He gets healthy. Boyd looked really good.
Mixon is not.
This is the Bengals from last year. They started out like, okay, well, fuck that. Holy shit, they're in the AFC title game.
Yeah, but they're in a division, right, where Baltimore's not going to run away with that division.
Not with all those injuries. No way.
No, they're not. So it's,
Cleveland hasn't got the talent and Pittsburgh hasn't got the brains.
It's still a very winnable division.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, in that division, there's literally the 3 teams that could legitimately take it. And if receivers learn how to catch out in Baltimore, I think they have that division.
Browns and 49ers, the second biggest surprise from Sunday.
I would argue that this was the biggest surprise.
It was because we all have been saying for the first 6 weeks of the year, San Francisco was the class of the NFL.
I even said last week that there's only like 2 teams that I see beating San Fran. And then the fucking Browns go and do it with PJ fucking Walker, XFL standout.
The one thing I took from this game is that once McCaffrey went out, the 49ers were like deer in the headlights. Yes, maybe one of the greatest trades of all time, but another reason I didn't draft the son of a bitch in our fantasy league is, yeah, he's great. When he's on the field, he is an injury-prone son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And when he is not on the field, look at him with Carolina. They didn't know what the fuck to do. San Francisco without him on the field, they don't know what the fuck to do.
When you have
it completely upsets. It's like you remember playing Jenga, Maddie, as a kid. Christian McCaffrey is that one Jenga stick that if you pull him out, the entire structure collapses, and you're just sitting there with your dick in your hands.
Without a doubt, because it's been proven with this 49ers, Kyle Shanahan is very much a West Coast style offense.
Well, yeah,
but he has one of the most efficient running backs to actually run that through. So that's why I think Brock Purdy is so capable of what he does. Because if you're able to have someone like
Purdy didn't look too damn good that second half.
No, he did not. And it's
I'm not trying to throw shade on Purdy because I really admire and I hope the guy succeeds big time.
Oh, he's going to. Everybody has
Given his
everybody has a
story and
bad
everything.
game. Everybody
But-
has a bad game.
And that 125 that he tossed up, most of that was at the very tail end of that game.
Yeah.
Like
And
he was,
if I'm
he was
not
in the
mistaken-
60s.
This is going to be a very
some odd
telling
yards.
game because they play the Vikings on Monday Night Football. This
Yeah,
week.
if I'm not mistaken, Brandon Ayuk also went out during that
Yep,
game.
Ayuk went out.
Like he started losing his weapons, and whenever you don't have your usual targets,
Yeah, you have to adjust in.
You-
It
really
it
have
is
to
a lot to
adjust.
digest. And let's not forget, Purdy has yet to play a full season.
Yes,
Let's not
this is
throw
his first
too
full
much
season
shade
so far.
on Brock because it's,
Now, in the Niners' defense here,
okay.
Purdy got them to where they needed to be on that field in the fourth quarter at the
He
end
did.
of the game for
He
them
did.
to win it. He did that.
He did what he needed to do.
Right. 49ers kicker missed. That was still a winnable game that they should have won. So in the end, he did what he needed to do, even losing McCaffrey and with Ayuk going down. So that's two audibles that they had to call and fixed to try to put the game plan back together. Still, though, that is the Browns, who are not a powerhouse team, and they had a backup quarterback too. Which should not have
Sorry,
been.
Josh Mansfield. Browns are not a powerhouse.
They're not, but their
Uh,
defense is absolutely terrifying.
Miles Garrett is a wagum. I know
Very
Dev's not
much
here,
so.
but Miles Garrett is a wagum. Dolphins 42-21 over the Panthers. This was looking like it was 14-0 Panthers to start this thing off, and then all of a sudden the Dolphins took some smelling salts or something and just
Someone got into his ear and was like, "Buddy, you're not playing up to your potential." And he's
That-
like, "All right, bet."
That 14-0 is what you come across in the desert.
yeah.
Yes, it was a complete mirage. There was what you were looking at was
Yeah,
not
because they
really
only
there.
because Carolina only got one more touchdown after that first half.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which
Like,
was a
and I-
pick six, I believe.
and I had that game on the majority of the time in the afternoon, and the Carolina quarterback, he looked absolutely lost out there. Lost. Like, he did not look good. So I don't know how long they're going to keep going with that.
I mean, we're looking at 6 games, which is
Yeah, but
not a small sample size, not a large one, but again,
But I've seen
I
that
tend to
happen with
give young
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks a lot of rope because when they get drafted to teams like Carolina, like what the hell are they working with? I mean, they don't have a whole lot. They don't have a great supporting cast.
No.
No, but like, at what point do you say, okay, let's pull the reins back a little bit here? We got a veteran guy that we can put in, that you can watch, and you can learn from. In Carson Palmer. Carson played good in the game that he was there.
I give it 2 more weeks. I give it 2 to 3 more weeks and see. I mean, they're not going to the playoffs or anything like that. I give it 2 to 3 more weeks. See if and how does he improve somehow, and if there is, let him keep going. If not, then maybe you,
Yeah,
like you said, Dave.
they're
you hold
they're
the
0
reins
and
back
6.
and- Yeah,
But look at the division. There are no powerhouses. It's quite possible that every team in that NFC South could be under 500 at the end of the year.
very possible.
So even at 0 and 6,
The NFC South has been the worst division in football for the last 4 or 5 seasons.
yeah,
Yeah, more or less.
yeah, it's been horrid. Horrid.
Jaguars 37-20 over the Colts. The only notable thing from this is that Anthony Richardson did not play and is probably going on the IR for the rest of the year. And Trevor Lawrence suffered a knee injury, which, depending on what sources you read, he may be gone for a while, maybe not at all, maybe for a little bit of time. We don't really know what's going on with the most handsome man in sports.
Scuttlebutt is he could play this Thursday.
That's what. Yeah,
I think actually, speaking of injury talk, another thing that we forgot to bring up: didn't Trent Williams go down with a knee injury?
Yep, he did.
Offensive lineman for the Niners, who was a
Yep.
major key to the solidity of that team.
Yeah, well, when your starting left tackle, your blindside guy goes down, that is instantly going to cause issues because of the 32 NFL teams, 31 of the starting quarterbacks are right-handed. Do the math.
Yeah.
When your blindside tackle goes down, that really upsets the apple cart. And someone like Trent Williams, who has been an all-pro, a Pro Bowler, I mean, you lose someone like that, it's really going to affect things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an advantageous situation.
As of about 3 hours ago, Trevor Lawrence said his knee has improved rapidly over the last 2 days and that he's optimistic he'll be able to play Thursday night's game at New Orleans.
Don't waste it on a fucking Thursday night.
Jags
game,
are
Trevor.
4-2. They drop this game. Does that really change much for their outlook? I mean, just rest him. I mean,
Please rest him because it's no
Yeah.
need him going out there and Robert Griffining his fucking knee just because he wanted to
Close.
play.
I was thinking more of upsetting his coiffeur. I mean, if he goes out there and plays and that hair gets in any way, tainted or befuddled, or that he gets like a grip behind the helmet. I mean, we cannot risk this man's hair on a Thursday night game. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, if he doesn't play, it would greatly alter the game plan for the
No
Jags.
shit.
Who is the backup out in Jacksonville?
Berthard. He hasn't played in a long time. So that's not really an optimistic choice that they can make. So
Texans topple the Saints 20-13. I honestly have no takeaways from this game other than that CJ Stroud still looks pretty good.
He continues.
I like what I'm seeing from him. He's playing pretty well, despite not having much around him, and especially the Texans organization is.
Oh yeah, the team is just really weird, and for some reason, like their star wide receiver is Nico Hollins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, David
Like,
Schultz and
Bobbert Woods,
Pierce, the running back.
Yeah, they've got like a bunch of random names out there and still succeeding. Like they're making
They're
CJ Stroud good.
3-3. I mean, they ain't out of it. I mean,
both
you
of
could have
their top-
easily, with a rookie quarterback, you could have easily expected 1-5, 0-6, 2-4.
Well,
They're
not only
3-3. They're still alive.
Not only the rookie quarterback, they also had the number 3 or number 2 pick in that draft as well, and they got
Number
Will
3
Anderson.
and number 2. Yeah.
Will Anderson was also there, and Will Anderson was he's very prevalent in the games that he's played.
He's looked good.
He's looked very good.
Rams trounced the Cardinals. Not that we were all that shocked, other than the fact that the first half of the game, the Rams looked like they didn't have a pulse. Then all of a sudden, the second half, they started
picking up.
Started getting things picked up. The Cardinals are 1-5. Josh Dobbs, while he has looked fairly good, I don't really think the Cardinals have.
I think the league is catching on to Dobbs. I think they got enough tape on him now. I think they figured him out, so it's up to him to adjust.
They need Kyler back, which I'm not sure. Is Kyler Murray gonna be back this year?
I have no fucking clue. I think they're gonna rock with Josh Dobbs the rest of the season.
Yeah.
See what they can get. in the
But
Let me
draft.
effort this.
by the time Kyler would be in the conversation of being ready, the Cardinals will have long been out of whatever playoff contention.
So 3 hours ago, actually, Bleacher Report is reporting Cardinals head coach suggests Kyler Murray could return to practice this week amid injury recovery. So the Cardinals are 1-5. Kyler is a dynamic player and a difference he could very well make, but they are easily the 4th best team in their division, even with Kyler.
Yeah. Like they would need every other team in every other division in that conference to basically shit the bed for them to get in the playoffs. Because they're not leapfrogging Seattle or the Rams. Then they're definitely not winning the division. So they can get that idea out of their head.
Jets upset the Eagles. This was another game we were following really closely this afternoon on our Sunday extravaganza. It was actually the last game that finished. We were following this on our local Fox affiliates. I think this game says very little about either team because we know the Eagles are far better than this. We know the Jets are far worse than this. And again, as we were talking about at the top of the show, it's just a wait and see thing to how fast can they get Rodgers back. The Eagles drop a game to the Jets, whoop-de-doo. The Niners dropped a game to the Browns. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday. They still have the same record. And we know if the Niners and Eagles met up in the NFC title game, it would not surprise anybody in this room.
This game still fucking shocks me, dude. Like the Eagles looked horrible in this game.
Hurts threw 3 interceptions and they turned the ball over 4 times. You cannot in the NFL turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win the game, even if you're playing a dog shit team. You can't do that.
No, especially
the Eagles took this game too lightly and they got spanked. And I think next week, see, who do the Eagles have next week? Go ahead, Maddie. I'm going to effort this while you're speaking.
Oh, dude, no, just
the Eagles play Miami on Sunday Night Football. Now that could be a barn. Eagles
could be.
Miami on Sunday Night Football
obliterates them.
What was that, Davey?
I think Miami obliterates them.
Can I mark that down as a Davey?
Miami is going to obliterate Philadelphia.
Yep.
Davey says Dolphins up. That's how I notate these things. Lions, fuck me. 5-1 defeat a decent Buccaneers team on the road, despite the creamsicles. The Buccaneers are 3-2. I think they're more of a 4-1. I think the Buccaneers are a little bit better than what we think. And I've looked at their schedule. The next 6 weeks for the Buccaneers, they've got a much easier schedule than they've had to start. So I think the Buccaneers, I don't think they're this. I think the Buccaneers are going to rebound. Just looking at their schedule, the talent they have, they haven't suffered any real major injuries.
Enough for them to take the division?
Quite possibly. Because I was looking at the schedule for the Buccaneers the next 4-6 weeks. It's a very advantageous schedule. And I'll give it to you. Let me pull up their schedule right now. This week they have Atlanta, which is decent matchup. We'll see what happens. Then they go at Buffalo, which Buffalo has been very tipsy-topsy. Then they go to Houston, which again, toss up. Then they host Tennessee. Then they go to San Francisco. Okay, that's a loss. Week 12, they go to Indianapolis without a quarterback. I mean, conceivably, they could win 4 of 6 of those.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting the Buccaneers. I think if they keep their heads out of their hindquarters, this team could still make some noise. So I'm not giving up on the Bucs.
Keeping the head out of the hindquarter area, though, is that even possible with Barker? Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, you do have a. Maybe you're not wrong.
I think Baker with the Buccaneers is a good pairing.
He's sort of he's like Fitzmagic, but 20 years younger. It feels like,
which means he's got a lot of magic to give.
Well, tomato, potato. Sunday night, what the fuck was that? Bills beat the Giants 14-9. This should have been 40-3.
The Bills looked absolutely atrocious in this game.
I cannot figure out the goddamn Bills. Please, one of you two guys, you're smarter about this game than I am. What the fuck is the Bill? 1 week, it's like, holy shit, this team could hang a 50 burger on somebody. The next week, they can't beat the goddamn Giants into the ground. I do not get this.
Madden curse.
This is beyond Madden curse. This is it's like they're putting. Davey,
also, Josh Allen needs to just stop hucking the ball like 40 yards downfield and expecting.
We've been saying that about him for 4 years, and he's been successful at it.
He's still doing it though, and people might finally throw people further down backfield.
But they're not going to change. That's what's got them to the dance. They're not going to tell Josh Allen to stop being Josh Allen. Davey, what are your
Allen
thoughts?
was a little banged up.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Allen was a little banged up in that game too. Shoulder, he's considered day to day, so that's a bit of an issue there. It doesn't explain the performance. It's like that was a dog shit game to a team they should have pounded, and they didn't.
Do you think this? Just to toss this out there, Davey, because you're the Patriots guy. You're very familiar with the division: Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Do you think that the Bills are just kind of saying, fuck it, it doesn't matter except for the 2 games with Miami. As long as we beat Miami twice, we got this thing. And then we get into the playoffs and we'll do our thing.
No, you want to win the division there. There's too many other good teams to get wrapped up in an extra game in a wild card spot, because chances are you fall in the wrong spot there, you're playing a top-tier team. You want to win. You want to win that.
Well,
division.
that's what we saw last year. They played Miami in the playoffs last year, and
yeah. You don't want to run that risk, right?
No.
And if you win that division, you got to think, okay, who else is there? Well, Kansas City's going to be in there for the bye, right? So so they'll be pushing hard to get that division. Personally, I think they get it. But Allen, as a whole, you got to stop with these out of the blue bonehead plays that he does, because he seems to do one usually once a game, sometimes more.
I was about to say far more often.
Yeah, like rain. If they could rein that in a little bit, right? Not have it be a consistent thing and more of a one-off thing. They would change their outlook for the positive quickly. There's just too much talent on that team.
Oh, yes.
Like they got a solid running back now. Diggs is an all-world wide receiver. Gabe Kidd, they're solid at tight end.
Gabe Kidd? You mean Gabe Davis?
Or
Mixing New Japan in with the NFL.
I am, yeah. Well, yeah. No, I was just about 10 minutes ago. I had read something just briefly there on Osprey and Gabe Kidd. I don't know what he did at Royal Quest, but I'll catch up.
Final game of the week: Chargers, Cowboys. Chargers, Cowboys, Cowboys.
What
Were
the
we at
fuck
all
was this
surprised
game?
with the outcome of this?
Yes.
This was the classic game for both teams.
I'm not surprised. These are two teams. I'm not surprised by literally anything they do, whether it's good or bad,
Me either.
because you can't make any sense out of them.
Nothing they do makes sense.
No.
I mean, Herbert looked Herberty.
Yeah, you have him as your quarterback. How did he do in fantasy?
He put up about, let me see, what did Herbie do? Captain's Raiders Clubhouse, week 6.
He didn't
He put
exactly
up
tear it
25.85, 2 tutties. I mean, he
was solid. Very solid.
He was solid, yeah. He should be more than solid, but
Yes.
It's a little hard whenever you're a Charger.
this head coach, Staley, that the Chargers have, from what I gather from other podcasts that I bounce around and listen to probably about 10 to 12 different NFL podcasts a week, not in their entirety, but just kind of bouncing around. Staley, they're going to roast this guy on a pike because with Kellen Moore, who should have been the head coach, Staley can't stick his thumb up his ass in 3 tries.
That's still a fucking weird statement to hear anybody say, that Kellen Moore is going to be a capable head coach.
He would probably be better than Staley because the Chargers at this point should be 6-0. They've dropped 3 games they should have won. And we've watched them all.
Possible return in the NFL too. Freiermuth might be in the game.
Yep.
Sunday versus the Rams.
Well, I was actually about to turn to that. We got about 26 minutes left, getting into week 7 schedule. Thursday night, Jacksonville at New Orleans. Getting into our thoughts on this one. I think if Lawrence plays even hobbled, I still think New Orleans takes this one.
I'm going New Orleans.
Jacksonville needs to just sit him for this. Like, it's not worth it.
I'm going New Orleans.
If Lawrence plays, Jacksonville. If he doesn't, New Orleans. Or New Orleans.
A game I have my eyes on, starting the noon slate on Sunday. We have 6 games in the noon slate on Sunday. The first one up, the vicious Vegas Raiders, as Davey has coined them, which I detect the sarcasm and I actually kind of like it because this team is the most fraudulent 3-3 team or 3-2, whatever the fuck we are.
Absolutely, you are. Yes.
We go to the Bears. Vicious Vegas Raiders at the terror of the Midway. This game is going to be the biggest suck fest in the history of things that have ever sucked. I picked up the Raiders defense this week for my fantasy squad simply because I looked at my options and I was like, well, they're playing a team that doesn't have a fucking quarterback. Even as bad as the Raiders are, they're not going to fuck this up.
Is this falling under Tank Bowl status?
Oh, well, no, because the Raiders are 500. We should be 0-6. This should be a Tank Bowl, but I mean,
but you know what you're going to be after this week?
I'm 4-2 right now. You're saying I'm going to be something less than that?
No, well, I meant the actual.
Oh, the vicious Vegas Raiders. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be over 500. They'll beat the Bears. They'll beat the Bears this week.
I hope to God they do.
I went with Vegas as well.
I'm playing Poppy Caesar this week, so if I lose,
what has this world come to when we all picked the Raiders to win?
I honestly, if somehow looking,
I think Devin
not just Vegas Raiders this week, but my own fantasy team. If we lose this week, I'm going to be Buford T. Justice sitting on the hood of his car saying, "What the hell is the world coming to?" We have in our second noon slate game, Cleveland at the Indianapolis Colts. Fuck me running. This is gonna. I don't know if Deshaun's gonna be back. We know Anthony's not gonna be. This is good. God Almighty! Somebody tell me what the hell's going on here. This is gonna be a.
I think the passing game in this game from both ends is going to be an absolute fucking mess. But with the running game that the Colts have, I think that tops the Indianapolis's. So I am going Colts.
Well, we were just talking about them in the third game on the noon slate. The Bills at the Patriots. Davey, the floor is yours.
Bills. Moving on to the next game.
The
We've
Bills
spent more than
moving
enough
on.
time on the Patriots.
But hold on, Davey.
Maybe the greatest one-word prediction in the history of the RAWBall podcast. Davey just delivered. Bills.
Davey, I just have to point out one thing. This
I
is
love you, Davey.
this is a divisional game. You
Yeah.
don't think New England's got this?
No.
I'm going New England.
In another shit bowl, tank bowl,
The only way New
Washington-
England wins that game is if the Bills happen to stroll through the NXT parking lot and don't make it to the game. That's it. Someone will fucking kidnap them or beat them up with a pipe. That's it. That's the only chance the Patriots have.
well, in our next shit bowl, Washington commies at the Giants. Daniel
This
Jones
game's
is
going to
trending.
fucking suck.
Daniel Jones is trending towards playing this week. Not that that helps matters any, but he's trending towards playing.
I'm just going. I'm going the Giants.
I will
I'm
go,
going commies.
I'll go Washington in this one. For as much as I can't get a read on Washington, I most definitely can't get one on the Giants. So
Next in the noon slate, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I think Tampa.
I don't
This is going to be
know
a very
this.
telling game. I could see this going one of either way, but I'm thinking Tampa takes this one for some hook or crook reason. I don't know how. It's just my gut.
The Falcons finally started targeting Kyle Pitts. They know who they have out there. They have him. They have Algier. They have Robinson. I think this game, the Falcons finally pull something together.
yeah,
One of our bigger games of the day. I wish Deb was here. Detroit at Baltimore.
Oh, Detroit.
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 You ain't
Well-
you ain't not. They have an offense that can catch the ball.
Yes.
Baltimore does not.
It's in Baltimore, which leads me to believe it's going to be a little bit closer than what we would expect. But I think at the end of the day, Detroit wins it. Not overtly convincingly, but Detroit wins it. At the end of the game, it's not going to be a question. It's going to be, Detroit won that game. Getting into the afternoon slate, the Steelers of Pittsburgh, Greg Cherry's team, at the Rams. I do not know what to think here. The Steelers are just fucking voodoo. The Rams have been either good or dog shit or good or dog shit. I don't know what to make it. This game could be the biggest head scratcher of the week. I honestly say that because I don't have a clear read here. Neither team seems to have their shit together. That's just my take. Oh, Josh Mansfield.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Josh.
Matty Simp has arrived.
Luck of the draw, baby.
Steelers at Rams.
I'm going Pittsburgh here.
I'm going Rams just because the Rams can move the ball, the Steelers can't. And I don't think Matt Stafford is – I just do not see the Rams being – I got to go Rams here. I don't see a way the Steelers can win this thing.
Yeah, Rams will take that.
So we've got 4 games in the afternoon slate. That was the first one. Second one, Arizona at Seattle, a battle of bitch slaps. Just
I just think Pittsburgh's going to beat the Rams here. Genuinely.
I'm giving this one to Seattle strictly because they're at home. I think Arizona is going to put up a fight the same way they have in just about every game this year. But
Kenneth Big Boy Pants Walker is going to beat the shit out of the
I
defensive
think
line.
Seattle takes this one.
Yeah, Walker, Metcalf, Lockett,
Yeah.
Gino. Yeah, they're just a more solid team. There's no way Seattle should lose that game.
Third game on our afternoon slate, Maddie, the Green Bay Packers come to the Mile High City. It is time for yourself and all of Broncos Nation to say, I love you. It is the Bryce Love-led Packers at
Bryce
the Denver
Love?
Broncos.
You mean Jordan Love?
Jordan Love, Bryce Love. What's the difference? It is still a team coming into Denver to face what should be a team.
Denver.
You know, that was one thing I missed from last Sunday is we didn't get to have the full 7-hour show of the anticipation of getting to the afternoon slate and then watching Matty just tear what little, hair out he has left on the top of his scalp. Last week, we got to see the punctures. This week, we're going to get to see the Broncos get decimated. I am going Packers big here. Packers are going to come into Mile High, and this is going to be a rough one for Denver. I'm sorry, Matty. I love you, kid, but Packers are winning this one.
As Elton John said, can you feel the love tonight? and the Broncos of Denver will be feeling the love. Packers all the way in this one. Go, Sir Elton.
In our final afternoon game.
The reason I had that smile was because I think Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss are going to beat the Browns.
Yeah. Oh, my pick in the Atlanta-Tampa game was Atlanta because their quarterback is not named Barker.
So in the big game of the Sunday day, what have yous, Los Angeles Chargers at Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are, I was about to say, Chargers are in a must-win here. I think the Chargers absolutely have to win this game, otherwise shit is going to start to unravel. Yeah. If I were a gambling man, which I'm not, I would be betting the Chiefs here. It's in Arrowhead. It's a late afternoon game. That crowd is going to be drunk and riled up and filled up on barbecue and cheeseburgers. But the Chargers have got to find a way to win this fucking game. Otherwise, they are going to be behind the 8 ball. I would bet Chiefs, but I'm hoping the Chargers turn this thing around. Matthew, what are your thoughts? I know Davey just picked Chiefs.
I also went with Kansas City on the basis of it's still Patrick Mahomes. It is still Patrick Mahomes. And I wish I could say that the Chargers were going to win here. But they're not.
No.
The
Chargers have such a great track record in we should probably win these games. You caught my sarcasm earlier in the show. I'm assuming you'll catch that one too.
Davey, you are the least sarcastic human being on the planet.
they're just
what are
not-
you talking about?
Yeah,
Sunday
the
night,
Chargers are just
Miami
not
at Philadelphia.
good. Well, it's like,
This
okay,
could
we have to win
be
this.
for a rare opportunity where Sunday night football actually delivers. Miami and Philadelphia, this could be you could see 100 points put up in this. This could be a fucking shootout.
Philly lost their last game. They're rocked. I think
Miami
wins this one.
got embarrassed in the first half, came back. This would be like one of those 45-42 type affairs. I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner. But that's just that. I said it when we were on live Sunday when I was looking ahead to the week 7. I was like, oh fuck, Philly and Miami. This game is going to be just forget defense, forget everything. It's going to be Jalen Hurts versus Tagovailoa.
Miami will win this by a minimum 2 touchdowns.
You
Minimum.
seriously?
I
think
wrote
they're
that
going
down
to
earlier.
obliterate
Davey
them?
says
And I don't
Dolphins
even-
up.
And I don't even
What has you saying that,
like
Davey?
Miami. I fucking hate them.
No, I know you. What has you saying that Miami just absolutely routs the Eagles?
Tua has been absolutely on fire this year.
Yes, he has. All right.
Mostert is
Fair.
a very underrated running back. Tyreek Hill.
Can you call someone
that
who's averaging 2 touchdowns a
combination
game?
is like deadly.
Who did you say, Davey? Who did you say was deadly?
Tyreek Hill. Like Tyreek
Okay.
and Tua, that combination is absolutely deadly. Tyreek Hill. No. Like when I look at Philadelphia, I don't see that. So I don't
game
think this is going to be as close as what
It is
people
in
think it's going to be.
Philly.
It's not the records that those teams have.
I'm not going to say I would be surprised if Miami won, but I don't see them just coming into Philly and I do not see. Could Miami win this? Yes, they could, but I just do not see them coming into Philly and waxing this team like you said. But hey, I've been wrong before. Davey's been right before, so we'll see what happens.
Miami is taking
Philadelphia.
If I were
Philadelphia's gonna
betting,
get the
I would be
team
betting
lost
Philadelphia.
Sunday.
Philadelphia's going to be pissed off. They're going to be angry. I would be betting Philly here, but that's just my intuition. Monday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers at the Vikings. Kirk Cousins in prime time, Vikings prime time, a pissed off as fuck 49ers team. I am not going to be surprised. Like Davey is saying Miami just, fuck wads Philadelphia. I'm saying
the Niners are
the
going to do that?
the 49ers just absolutely fuck wad the Vikings. Because the Vikings, I have far less faith in them than I do the Eagles. Not that I have a great deal of faith in the Eagles, but far more than the Vikings. I think this is the blowout. I think the 49ers come into this thing and they're like, all right, we got embarrassed last week. We are going to absolutely shit wreck these guys.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. The Niners are not taking this loss well to the Browns. And
Would you?
No. And unfortunately, the Vikings are the team after that. So
Phillies are up 1-0 on the Diamondbacks, bottom of the first. Not a big story there, but still 1-0. So we got about 9, Cap has about 9 minutes left.
fantasy football?
Oh, no.
And for the Monday Nighter, Niners rebound and take that. Minnesota's just too all over the board, and they're missing Jefferson. So that's really throwing a monkey into their wrench of things.
So we've got this amount of time left. If you care to look at your screens.
Which one? I have about 3 up.
God damn it, Davey.
The one I just put up. I've got about 8 minutes before I have to adjourn myself.
I'll mute myself for this one.
Oh, no, Davey, don't you dare mute yourself. I want to hear your thoughts here. In less than 24 hours, it will be, as much as the Drip King likes to call the rematch of the whatever, I am calling it the rematch of the century. I have been waiting 1 full year for this. Anyone who pays attention to our channel, they know the story, they know the tale. There's not much to be revisited. They know what's going on here. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be competing with the Drip King for the title of greatest fantasy booker. I know he's going to be bringing his game. I'm going to be bringing mine. This time it's not up to an internet poll. It's not up to anything except the panel of judges, the 3-panel whom we have put together. And I feel completely safe with the panel that is put together because I know that at least 2 of the 3 gentlemen will be fair and impartial and will allow me to claim my victory once they have seen my book. Allow me to address a particular issue that came up on Jimmy Bebe's show on Sunday night. And I will preface this with the fact that I already apologized to Jimmy in regards to the El Americano nightmare methods in which I called him out on, because I was not going to let this one set. I was going to get my rematch. James, as you and all the former Wrestle Buddies, Wrestling Legion, RAWBall, anybody who followed us know, last November, I encountered a health scare. At the time, I was 35 years old, and I went in for a routine checkup and was told that I was dealing with a cardiac arrhythmia in addition to an accelerated pulse rate and high blood pressure. Because of those issues, in addition to the high number of hours I was putting in with our former, well, my former network, I realized that I had to take a step back because I had no desire to perish early. And it was, and still is, a battle for me. I am still fighting those same issues with my cardiac situation. It's been good some days, not good other days, but I'm still here. I took that 6-month break for my own health, for my own ability to continue to live and be around for my family, my nephews, my brother, my friends. Sunday night, when you made that particular comment that you hope that this time when you whoop my ass, that I won't take a 6-month break, that kind of tickled me a little wrong, because even you knew why I took the break that I did. I did not appreciate that, but all's fair in love and war. We have a job to do, and we will do our job. I'll do mine, as I know you will do yours. But let it be known, let it be said, let it be understood that the break that I took was strictly so that I could focus on my health, namely my cardiac health, which at the time was quite dire. And after a little break and getting back together with my good brothers, Maddie and Dev, and our other brothers, Davey, Crew Day, managed to start our own little thing. Nicholas has the Wrestling Legion. I still love Nicholas to death. I've always said there is no issues there. But let it be known, Jimmy, that even if you do whip my ass tomorrow night, I will not be taking another 6-month break out of shame or embarrassment or an inability to function or be a entertaining personality in the business that both you and I have chosen. God willing, knock on wood, I'll be back the next week covering wrestling, covering football, doing whatever it is that I do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, because it's what I enjoy doing. And I'm doing it with people whom I absolutely love being able to do it with. And I hope that I'm able to somehow make you feel better, Jimmy, because you said you wish and hope and pray that after you whip my ass, I won't take another 6-month break. Let it be known, Jimmy, after I whip your ass live for the world to see tomorrow night, I will not be taking a 6-month break unless St. Peter calls me to the pearly gates. I'll be back here doing just what I'm doing. And after you get your ass whipped, I hope that you can tuck your tails between your legs, protect your genitals, and run off into your little corner of slap hands that you have. And maybe, just maybe, you'll come out of this with a little bit of humility and understanding for the fact that you don't know jack fuck shit when it comes to booking professional wrestling, and that I do. But we still have a competition to go. And if I lose, I will virtually extend my hand and I will shake your hand and say you are the winner. But if what happens that I know is going to happen when I whip your ass, I hope you will take a little bit of humility and understanding that just because you wear a crown, just because you have a lot of glad handers, just because you tend to propagate yourself along social media as being, oh, let's say something positive and let's do this. Maybe you'll just maybe understand that part of professional wrestling is the fans bitching and complaining at the promoters, the bookers, the writers, the whomever, that they don't like what's going on. It's not the time to be positive in professional wrestling, at least when it comes to your chosen specific organization whom you just slap ass with every single goddamn day. It's time for the fans to start calling to court those who run these particular organizations and tell them, no, this shit will not fly any longer. You will book this stuff accordingly. You will run a professional wrestling organization, not an entertainment organization, not a three-ring Ringling Brothers circus organization. You will run a professional wrestling organization, or we will turn off our televisions, our laptops, our phones, however the fuck they consume professional wrestling. I wish you good luck, Jimmy. And I wish you and all of your loved ones the best of luck, as I'm sure you would wish me. Tomorrow, we will find out who the better man is. It may be you. It may be me. Who knows? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, you're going to keep doing what you do. I'm going to keep doing what I do. But at the end of the day, I will have the satisfaction of having met you on a level fucking playing field with a panel of people who know what the fuck they're talking about and understand what we're doing, as opposed to the trolls and the glad handers and whatever on a Twitter poll. If I win tomorrow, I will have won. If you win tomorrow, you will have won. And we'll keep doing whatever we do. But I've been waiting a year, a solid year, to get back into the ring with you and to finally prove to everyone in our hemisphere that when it comes to booking, there ain't nobody better than the Cap. I understand this business. I've studied it longer than you have lived, and I know more about it than you will ever know. I know how to book, and you don't. So I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, James. And may the best man win.
Alrighty. You went a little over time on your end.
But I had a lot to say.
I will say that, yeah, we have hit our 2-hour mark. Tune in tomorrow, Wrestling Legion, for the first episode of Wrestling with Your Thoughts. It is the Cap. It is the Drip King. It's going to be a damn good show. I can guarantee it. And then after that, go ahead and tune into the Greg Cherry Show and watch me cover myself with eggs and chocolate syrup. So, very packed Wednesday for us. Thursday, we do have Crew Day. As always, we got Davey, we've got me. I believe we've got Suge and Remy, because KB will be at Six Flags, which Davey has taken umbrage with Six Flags himself. You're muted, Davey.
Oh, forgot I muted myself there. Yeah, Six Flags. Like, go all the way. 10. Remember, Captain? 10 sounds official. It's the basis for the decimal system.
2 is all you need. Moses could have carried him down the hill in his fucking pocket. And if some of those people in Alabama would have thought about it a little bit harder, they could have put those on the courthouse lawn if they would have included one additional commandment: thou shalt keep thy religion to thyself.
But yeah,
Good old George.
Thursday, Crew Day, and then Sunday we've got the NFL week as usual. Davey, do we have any wrestling this weekend?
Do we have wrestling this weekend?
I mean, of course we do, but like, do we have major?
You
promotions?
mean like any pay-per-views or such?
Yeah, PLEs, pay-per-views, and such.
We have NXT on right now. Good show so far. If you're not watching that after you're done watching us, tune into that. Dynamite tomorrow. And Battle of the Belts is on. this Saturday.
Okay.
Collision is on this Saturday. However, we have Impact on this Saturday.
Oh, is it Bound for Glory?
It is.
Fuck yes, that's going to be one hell of a show. All right. Well, other than that, I don't think we have anything else to plug. This is the point in the show where I remind everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, don't get arrested. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Cap, what was the time again for Wrestling with Your Thoughts?
4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Cap versus Jimmy Bay. We will be in a 3-round fantasy booking competition. It is Super Brawl 1999, WrestleMania 14, and Raw 1000 with our panel of Nicholas and Remy and Jimmy's appointed judge.
All righty. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow. For Wrestling with Your
Absolutely.
Thoughts and for Luck of the Draw with me on the Greg Cherry Show. Tune in to both shows. You're not going to be disappointed.